So these are, let's say, the premises that I will use for the rest of the talk. When I talk about open citation, I refer to citation data that follows these 5 principles that I've just introduced. So in this slide, I would like just to quickly introduce the steps that have been made to reach the current status of open citation data since the 2010. The first event happened in 2010 when the Open Citation Corpus was released as one of the main outcomes of a JISC project named Open Citation Project, directed by and owned by David Shatton from the University of Oxford. Then there was a talk done by David Shatton in the annual conference of the Open Access Publisher Association, where he was introducing and trying to push publishers to release in mass citation data in the open domain. However, nothing really happened until 2016, where some of events were organized. The first one was the first Wikisite workshop. Wikisite is a project that works with Wikidata, the database made available by the Wikimedia Foundation, for including also bibliographic metadata and citation for the entities included in Wikipedia articles. Then there was the launch of the new instance of the Open Citation Corpus. So the same release, the same project that David started in 2010 was renewed somehow. I was involved as director at that time, and we released a new instance of the corpus with the servers available at the University of Bologna. And then in September 2016, Dario Taraborelli, that is the main person behind the Wikisite project at Wikimedia, he was working at the Wikimedia Foundation at that time, was invited to have a talk in the same conference David talked 3 years later, a bit before, so the conference of Open Access Publisher, and he discovered something amazing, that even Open Access Publisher didn't release at that time open citation data as open material. And the funny thing that actually the publisher, not only the open access publisher, the publisher in general, already deposited citation data into a specific platform that was Crossref, but they didn't know mainly that these data were closed somehow. And so, from these premises, a bunch of people, including myself, started to talk about how to convince publisher to open up their citation data in Crossref. So what was the situation? Before April 2017, the fraction of publication that had open references specified available in Crossref was just the 1% of all the million of articles with references that were present in Crossref. And talking informally with publisher, we have discovered that basically, even if publisher were depositing this data in Crossref, they actually really didn't know that these data are not in the open part of the Crossref database. Only the metadata of the articles were open, but the reference list, because of commercial possible issues, let's say, were kept closed. And so, in April 2017, we launched this initiative for open citation. The goal of the initiative was only to persuade the major academic publishers around that are already depositing reference lists into Crossref to open them up and release all of them just in one big event, let's say. And the key benefit we highlighted to publisher in order to convince them in doing that was basically the possibility of having this public web of scholarly links that enable additional access points to articles published by the publisher itself, and also allow in principle to follow how research evolves in time, and also it enables the creation of new services upon this data. And so we started to basically do it, and the 6 founders organization that were involved in the whole thing are these 6 guys that counts also Open Citations as organization, as one of the partners, as funders. And we were able to get the support of a lot of stakeholders, ranging from founders to libraries to associations to research projects that supported us in the whole initiative. And since the beginning to February 2019, we were able basically to convince more than 750 publishers to be part of the initiative and releasing their citation data as open material within Crossref. So the result of this is now we have improved the availability of open citation data, starting from 1%, that was the situation before April 2017, to 55% in February. So we have more than 500 million citations available as open citation in Crossref. And starting from this data, a lot of things started to happen. So a lot of even companies were born and for using this data and produce new services, and we organize also a lot of events, in particular the workshop on Open Citation and WikiCite 2018, in order to kind of advertise more and more communities on the importance of this movement of releasing open citation data to the public domain. Who is missing in this picture? Well, actually, among the top 20 DOI depositors in Crossref, there are 5 of those that are not joining the I4C. And are these 5 guys here, okay? The point is that while the first 2 guys are commercial entities, so they see citation as assets, so as money, if you want, the other 3 are scholarly societies. And that was quite funny, in particular because these scholarly societies admit themselves in their website that they are acting for the benefit of humanity, but then they are not releasing some kind of important data that actually will benefit the whole humanity. So it's a kind of a contradictory claim with what they say and how they act. So there have been several kind of events and things that happened after the release of Open Citation. Society that are claiming, like the Scientometric Society, that are claiming that open citation are important for them, some kind of pressure letters to founders in order to kind of mandate open citation for their grants, and National Open Science Plan that start to acknowledge explicitly I4C as one of the things that should be used within the open science world. And we get similar support also by other initiatives. Here are 2 other examples. The DORA, the 4 is a kind of community that try to write a declaration for new research assessment strategies, and also Plan S, that is a European thing that is pushing for gold open access in just a few years for all the research that happened in Europe, basically, that are explicitly acknowledging the principle behind I4C that should be implemented in large by all the publishers for releasing open citation data. Even Crossref, that is not one of the company or initiatives, let's say, within the I4C, okay, is developing services in order to help users to understand if a publisher is following the principle of I4C or not, so as to identify who are the good guys and the bad guys, let's say, formally speaking. And this is something that have prepared. This Crossref participation report is a service online. This last slide is just to let you know how easy it is for a publisher that is already depositing these metadata into Crossref, so the reference list of papers into Crossref, to ask Crossref itself to open up all the citation. The only thing that the publisher needs to do is to send one single email to Crossref saying, please, can you open all my citation data? And that's all.